Good morning and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Salem, Oregon. I am Gloria Hollins, serving as your celebrant this morning. It has been a long, winding, and unsettling road that has brought us to this place in this hour when we are once again able to gather in person, in community, and in hope. You are so welcome today. And for those of you joining us at home and online, your presence is felt as we extend our welcome to you all. I must say that I am especially delighted to be welcoming to this platform this morning members of our UUCS Microfinance team, and they are Ann Hannes, Carol Doolittle, Jesse Wilson, and Annie Thorpe, with a special thanks to Lorna Youngs. The Microfinance team is a group of UU members who dedicate themselves to working for a better life for people in impoverished countries. Today, we will hear from Ron Hockley, Executive Director of the NEO Fund. And welcome, Ron. May your time here be well spent. May our community continue to grow in love and hope and promise.
The gray hymnal. Please rise in body or spirit, and please leave your mask in place. All the colors, yes, the colors we see in the springtime with all of its flowers. All the colors when the sunlight shines out through a rift in the cloud and it showers. When a storm cloud is touched by the sun, all the colors about for the whole world around and for everyone under the sun.
am only one, but still I am one. I cannot do everything, but still I can do something. And because I cannot do everything, I will not refuse to do that something that I can do. Please join together in saying our affirmation. Love is our doctrine. Compassion is our way. Here we seek to create a joyful home for free religious exploration, build the community of caring fellowship, nurture the hopes, and serve the needs of our world. May we be reminded here of our highest aspirations and inspired to bring our gifts of love and service to the altar of humanity. May we know once again that we are not isolated beings, but connected in mystery and miracle to the universe, to this community, and to each other. Each week we light 3 chalices. The first is for this congregation, the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Salem. The second chalice we light for our partner church in Šibenfova, Transylvania, Romania. And we light the third chalice for our children and youth in our religious education classes. And for all the children of the world. Please join us as we sing the flame into light.
Rise up, O flame, by thy light glowing, show to us beauty, vision, and joy.
Good morning. I would like to invite any children who would like to come up and meet me here. I'd like to talk to you for just a moment. Great. Come on up. And we're going to sit over here, like maybe right there. So just a minute. I want to get my different coat on and my different shoes on. That's quite good. Oh, no, thank you. Oh, thank you for asking. Okay, and my different shoes as well. You know what I think I'll do? I think I'd like to pull up a chair. You like these shoes? You don't? Oh, these are my favorite shoes. Yeah, they are. You don't like them? Oh, my goodness. These shoes and this coat were given to me by my good friend, Shuri Babu Reba. You think? What do you think? You like these shoes? See, I think they're pretty too. See, my wife is like you. She said, you can't wear those shoes to church. But I'm more like you. I said, well, why not? These are terrific shoes. Here. I have to. There. What do you think? Yeah. Well, one morning, now, so in the land of India, people think this is a wonderful way to dress. Yes, and so one morning, my friend Shuri, he took me to the store and he bought me this coat and a special shirt to go underneath it and some special pants and also these special shoes. And I wore them all day and all that whole time. You don't think so? Well, he loved them, and I love him. You know what? What I want to tell you today is something that I learned from the children in India, where I've been many times, wearing this coat and these shoes. And that is that they have a thing they can do. And here's what it means. It's like as if you were to say, hello, I'm so happy to see you today. I'd like to be your friend. It'd be like saying, I like you, and I'm so glad that we're together. Or it'd be like saying, I respect you, and I feel glad that we're together, something like that. Now, this is not a word, but it's a thing you can do with your body. I want to teach it to you. All children of everywhere in India will do this thing. Watch this. I'm going to teach you how to do it. See if you can watch. Yes, kind of like that. So it's not this where you say, no, it's not that. It's not that. It's where your head actually goes from one side and then onto the other side. It's like a wagging of the, yes, very good. Oh, you're very good at it, natural. It's like your neck is made of rubber. Oh, yes, you're also quite good. That's a little too much. This you do very little bit. Children will do this all, and also grown-ups even too, will do this all day, and it can mean so many things. Hello, I'm glad to see you. I wish you a wonderful day. Thank you for being here. I like to be your friend. See, isn't it terrific? And I think it's a wonderful habit. Now, we don't really do that in America, so I'm not telling you we should all start to be bobblehead. But what I think is you could teach your mom or dad or your brother or sister how to do it. You could teach them. Show me how you will teach them. Yeah, exactly. It could be like your little secret. And what it means to me, it means hello, I like you. It means a way we can show courtesy and respect and kindness. And if we could do that, then our life would be much happier, I think. Okay, well, we don't have to wear the shoes. And we don't even have to bobblehead. I will put them back on. But I love these shoes from Shori Babu Reba. And I will teach you about him too. Let me tell you about my friend Shori. No, I'm talking to you now, yes? Shori was raised with no shoes. He was raised with no shoes, and in a little town in the middle of nowhere. And his mother became a school teacher, so she decided she wanted to give him the best education she could. So he learned how to read, just like you guys already know how to read, I bet you. She learned how to write. You will. You know how to listen very well. And then he learned how to do math. You probably know how to do all those things. Eventually he went on to school, secondary school, university. He worked for a bank, and Shori is, he's the guy, he's our partner we're going to be talking about in this service. Well, anyway, here's one last thing I want to say to you. And now we're going to invite the grown-ups to make the love arch so that we can pass underneath it as we leave today. Okay, you all ready? Thank you for coming. See you later, okay? All right, bye-bye.
Wherever you walk in love. Wherever you walk in peace. Wherever you walk in beauty all around you. Our hearts go with you.
If you know someone who is going through a hard time, please think of them now. And if you want, you can say their name as my hand passes you. If there is someone or something that you are grateful for, please hold them in your heart. And if you want to share, you can name them as my hand passes by. Let us remember these people and things as we go on with our lives this week. We have one concern from the Microfinance team. We remember Sombat Somphone, a leader in Laos civil society and founder of PAYDAC, our partner organization in Laos. Sombat was arrested by police in 2012 and has not been seen since then. You may submit a joy of concern by going to uusalem.org. Find the link for Joys and Concerns, type yours in, and then click on Submit, and we will get it.
Our pastoral hymn this morning is Here on the Paths of Every Day. It's number 312 in the gray hymnal. Please remain seated and please leave your mask in place. Here on the paths of every day, here on the common human way, is all the stuff the gods would take to build a heaven to mold and make new Edens. Ours the task sublime to build eternity in time. We need no other stones to build the temple of the unfulfilled, no other ivory for the doors, no other marble for the floors, no other cedar for the beam and dome of our immortal dream.
I bring to you Service by Edgar A. Guest. I have no wealth of gold to give away, but I can pledge to worthy causes these. I'll give my strength, my days and hours of ease, my finest thought and courage when I may, and take some deed accomplished for my pay. I cannot offer much in silver fees, but I can serve when richer persons play, and with my presence fill some vacancies.
I'm pleased to welcome Ron Hockley back to our church. Ron is the executive director of the NEO Fund, which is our partner organization that administers our donations for microloans. You'll be hearing compelling stories where we have made a profound difference in people's lives. The NEO Fund is a nonprofit organization dedicated to serving the poorest of the poor through sustainable community development, microlending, and child aid programs. The NEO Fund serves thousands of people in Nicaragua and Haiti, as well as India. Ron and his wife, Suzanne, have 2 sons and are avid hikers, backpackers, trail runners, and lovers of all things outdoors. Thank you again, Ron, for coming.
Thank you, Anne, and it is really great to be back with you. It's been 2 or 3 years since we were together like this, so it's really an honor to be back. Thank you for the invitation. Our program is going great. The funds, I think, what has it been? 5 years we've been working together, something like that. The funds that you invested in the tiny loans, $50, $100 loans, to very poor people in slums in Nicaragua and eventually in India as well, are still cycling. And this is so wonderful to me, and it's the reason this is a strategic thing that we're doing is that those dollars that were given, say we invested $1 5 years ago, it's not gone. It's gone through from, say, Maria to Gloria to one after another, maybe 3 loans per year for 15 families have been lifted by that dollar, and it continues to do its work. So this is why we're really excited about the model of microfinance for the poor. And we believe that those little loans change the world every day. So we could talk about numbers as if this just were a sort of a finance class, but we're not going to do that today. You can go look them up, or we can have a conversation. What I'd like to do today is to tell you a handful of stories firsthand from borrowers in the field. These are all stories from this year, so they're very current. And these are some women that you have invested in, and here are some of their stories. And I'll tell you, they're all kind of stories, from the wonderful to the heartbreaking and all different kinds. So, first one, Maritza. We're going to put up a picture of each of these borrowers as I tell you a little bit more about them. Early this year, Maritza earned her money by being a janitor at her church. They paid her roughly $2 a day for that work. And so she was trying to make a living, on the $2 a day for herself and her children. Maritza lives in a neighborhood where all the streets are dirt. She has a cement block wall on the perimeter of her house, it's a tiny house, but actually it's probably about the size of this stage. But the interior walls are black plastic. She does have electricity, but no toilet. Well, around April or so of this year, she discovered the Neo Fund, and she found Ivania. See, we've just recently started, in the last couple of years, we started a borrower coaching and training program. And so Maritza was one of the first people to enter that program. And Ivania and she talked about, and it's sort of a vision that maybe she could do more than just clean the church. Maybe she could start a small business, and she started to dream about what that would be and how it would look and how she could do it. And she wrote a business plan for that. She created a budget for it. And then she took her first loan of $160, and with that she went to the big, huge market in Managua on the bus, and she bought so much produce, she needed help to carry it all home. I mean, huge bags and baskets, these are the things she bought. Watermelons, pineapples, bananas, onions, peppers, coyotes, potatoes, and carrots. And she started that little produce stand that you can see in the picture. That business went so well that she quickly paid off the $160 loan, and she asked if she could take a second loan to start another business. Ivania said, well, what do you want to do? She said, my son is great with technology, like computers, cell phones, everything like that. And if I could take a loan to buy cell phone parts and accessories, he could start a cell phone repair business. And so last summer, just 3 months ago or something, Maritza took her second loan to start her second business in cell phone repair. And we just crunched the numbers a couple weeks ago, and her income increased from $2.38 a day at the beginning of this year to $16.28 a day now, an increase of $13.90 every day. You did that. I mean, she did it. This is the great thing. She did, but you made it possible. You opened a door, and she walked through that door, and without somebody opening the door, it wouldn't have happened. So, I want you to know how valuable this is, how important it is. She says, her quote is, she wants a better life for herself and her children. And you are helping to give her that better life. Then Roxana. Next slide. Yes, Roxana is 29 years old. She dropped out of elementary school, so she doesn't read or write at an adult level. It does not have a good education. She doesn't have much of anything. She's very poor. She doesn't have a toilet at her house, just a latrine out in the fields. But she also joined our program and took a loan to start a small store. Here were her goals. She wanted to have a bathroom in her home with running water. She wanted eventually to be able to pour a cement floor for her house. It's just dirt now. And her big goal someday, if it could be possible someday, to buy a freezer so that her little store would be able to sell like frozen meat and frozen ice and stuff like that. And so she took her initial loan and started the little store you can see in the picture. All of those things were purchased with the loan, and as a result, her business increased by about $3 a day. She's now earning about $13 a day. And why does it matter? Does it matter just because she can have a bigger bank account and feel proud of it? No, it matters because when a mother makes $3 extra a day, her child has a much better chance of succeeding in life. The mom can buy him in this case, a school uniform so that he can go to school. Or if he gets sick, she can take him to a doctor. Or there's much less chance of child malnutrition if the moms can easily buy the food they need. So her business is off and running, and you did that. Together, we did that. And she could say, I did that. So it builds great hope and dignity for Roxana that she has started a store that is succeeding. Third story, Cristhian. Before we found each other, Cristhian was using microlending to do a clothes resale business. She'd buy big bundles of used clothing, and then she'd sell them piece by piece out on the street or something like that. But it wasn't loans like we do. It was loans from a loan shark in Ciudad Sandino, Nicaragua. And guess what her interest rate was for those loans? 240%. So she said, and I quote, "Before I met you, almost everything I earned was paid in exorbitant interest." By contrast, so that turns out to be 20% per month. Neofund also charges interest, but 2.5% per month. So she said, now the money I earn, I can keep for myself to give better nutrition to my children and to improve my modest house. And we found in this space of microlending, there are all kind of different people and groups doing all kind of different things, and some are taking advantage of the poor, frankly. So someone like Cristhian, if she earned, say, $5 in a day, the lender would take $4. It's not right. It's not right. And this is part of our mission, is to see the loan sharks out of business in the neighborhoods where we work. Jelen used to go work at a laundry every day, and she would earn an average of $3.41 for a full day labor at the laundry. The problem is, that was enough money for her to live on, but it was very awkward to leave all the time because she has little children, 2 little kids. So what would she do with them? They would always have to go to somebody else's house, and so she asked if she could start a business and take a loan from us. It's another little store. You can see it in the background of that picture. And she put together, same thing, business plan, budget. She learned about pricing, inventory, advertising, even business name selection. You know what I mean? She thought through how she's going to do this little store. And she sells rice, eggs, soap, and vegetables. Now, income from her store is $3.21 a day on average. So you might think to yourself, wait a minute. She was earning $3.41 a day in the laundry. And now she took our loan and her income dropped to $3.21. But Jelen would tell you it's the best thing she ever did because she can stay home and raise her kids by herself instead of always having to find a place where she can drop them. She says, quote, "This loan allowed me to generate income from my own home. I do housework and I care for my young children myself without leaving them to go for work, and I quote, "Thank you for this opportunity." Marina. Marina is, she is 50 years old. She has 4 grown children. I don't know if you can see her house very well there, but that's probably a kitchen that's not like your kitchen. You know, I mean, it's a little rough. It's probably just out on the back of the tin house with a little piece of tin over the top, dirt floor. And she asked for a loan of $300 to start a business as a cook. Our Cristhian, our credit officer there in Cristo Rey, met with Marina and talked about the business, and we gave her that loan. She bought bulk chicken, bananas, and that was the first things she cooked in her little restaurant is chicken and bananas. Plantains, that you fry them. And it went pretty good. So her initial earnings in the first few weeks, she rose from like $0 to $6 a day in earnings. Really pretty good. But she came back and asked if she could have a second loan and then a third. In fact, Marina's been with us 3 years and taken 7 loans. Her most recent loan was $1,200. It's an astronomical amount to Marina, considering where she used to be from. And now, every day, she cooks 30 pounds of chicken, 5 pounds of pork, 300 bananas, 20 enchiladas, 10 tacos, and 30 cups of beef soup. It's a lot of work. This is not a handout. And she's paying back the loans, But her income has increased from $6 early to almost $15 a day. And again, she said, quote, "Thank you so much for the loans. They saved my life." Elizabeth didn't used to work at all, and so she relied on her partner's monthly salary of $142.17. How'd you like to go to work with your full compensation package, a monthly amount of $142.17? It's $4.74 a day. And there were 3 people in the household, which put them just about poverty line in Nicaragua. So what that means is all their money goes to food. Elizabeth came to us through a partner, and we've started using neighborhood partners. It could be churches, or it could be, in this case, it's a group called Solidarity Networks. It's a community agency to empower women and prevent domestic violence. And through that organization, Elizabeth came to us. Ivania met with her. She said, I've never worked in my life. I don't have any money. I don't, but could you help me start my own little business? And so we did. Her first loan was for $100. And with that, she started selling snacks. You see her there with a table of snacks that she's selling just for, pennies, but she sells a lot of them. After she paid back that loan, she took one more, and what that is her second business is jewelry making. She went to class and learned how to sort of become a craftswoman and make jewelry. Anyway, this year, with her 2 loans, Elizabeth has gone from no personal income to $5 a day in average income. And she said, and I quote, and listen, there's some pathos behind this quote. She said, "My business got me out of some real personal trouble. I don't know what that personal trouble is. It's probably not my business, but we can imagine. We can invest kind of what that might have been like to live at a poverty level before and have no power or income of her own. This loan allowed me to earn money for myself, and that makes me feel more valuable." Aydalina. Are we good with a couple more? I know I'm whipping through these, but I love these stories. And so anyway, Aydalina is a natural entrepreneur. 4 years ago, she took her first loan to start a meat business. She would buy, cook, and resell beef and chicken. And her first loan was $150. She has worked with Neo to quickly pay off and borrow more to grow her business. So over 4 years, she's taken 5 loans, and her most recent loan is $1,500. It's a lot of money in that town. And she built what you can see behind there is a pretty nice store with display cases and everything like that. Her income has doubled from the beginning and is now $22 a day. She's getting to be pretty well off in her town, and she did it. Nobody came along and said, here's a bunch of money and, be well. But, taking these loans, using her wits and hard work, she built this business. But when Aydalina started, she lived in a little tin house, and, we've seen hundreds of them there. They cost $500 to build, and most people inherit them, or sometimes the government gives them to like welfare. That's just dirt floor, 4 posts, tin walls, and a tin roof, which may not sound that. No running water, no electricity, no toilet. And one of the biggest problems with them is they get really hot, really, really hot. So because of her earnings, with her earnings, she's been able to build a stone house instead, and now has running water and electricity. She says, the Neo Fund gave me the opportunity to grow my business, to increase my income, and improve my home. Thank you. But she did it. We just opened a door. We allowed her to do this thing. Aydalina. Now I'd like to turn a page and tell you about just a handful of our India borrowers. Over the last year, I think, or 2, your congregation has started to invest in our India work, and including these women. Tirumani, you're not going to believe it, but that grocery store is the largest store in town. That's it. She sells rice, spice, soap, and a few sundries. Tirumani took her loan to buy that inventory, and now she has the biggest store in town. But her goal was to earn her own money and help sustain her family, and she's earned an average of $4 a day from that little store, which is enough. It's enough. She says, this opportunity helped build my confidence. I'm paying back my loan and helping to meet my family's needs. Thank you. Chinta. Now, this story is rough. And so Chinta took her loan to buy chicks and grain to start a chicken business. Agricultural loans are trickier because they're riskier. And disaster fell. So dogs killed most of the chicks. So what do you do then? So we reran the numbers after the loss, and she would still had increased her income because of the loan, but only by 45 cents a day over what it was before. And this is where, our work is not only always delight. Sometimes we run into heartbreaking problems like Chinta. Like, what are we going to do? Because 45 cents a day increase, once she pays her loan payment, pretty much all that work and she's not any farther ahead. So the question is, what do we do? And this is a very real question, and I want you to know, because you're investors in this work. What do we do in a situation like that? Well, in our view, there's a ditch on both sides of the road, and we try not to go in the ditch. So on the one side of the road, we would say, well, sorry, Chinta, we're going to come and take your cooking pots and pans as collateral and, to pay off the loan. We're not going to do that. Never going to do that. On the other, or we're going to say, pay up or else, or send in somebody to break your kneecap. We're never, ever going to do that. Ever. But on the other side, there's what I feel like is also a ditch, and that's just, don't worry. It's no problem. It feels like compassion, But our whole program is going to go underneath water because in a village like that, village of Galagudam, as soon as people feel like, oh, you don't really have to pay back these loans, nobody really cares, and they come from rich people in America. Yeah. And the problem with that is there's so many problems with that, but one of them is it creates this kind of, it erodes dignity. It creates a sense that Chinta is just a recipient of charity, and that's not what she wants to be. She wants someone to open a door of opportunity for her. So what do we do then? If we don't do that, and if we don't do that, what do we do in a case like this? And here's what we do. We sit down with her. I don't, but Maritza, our credit officer, will sit down with her and say, look, let's restructure this whole thing. Let's start over. She's still going to make the little payments. We'll extend out the term longer. Also, we'll refer her to, there are other nonprofits who work in that town, and we know them, who can help her in tangible ways, maybe through a handout, maybe to get her through this hard time, maybe to replace the chicken, something like that. And so, in our view, having a relationship with a woman like Chinta, caring about her, having great compassion for her problem, and kind of walking through it with her without easy answers or silver bullets goes a long way. And so that's what we're doing. She said, it's difficult and it's delicate to keep these birds healthy on account of the roving dogs. Nevertheless, I believe this is a promising business and will eventually generate a good income. What a great, I would hire her in it. I mean, listen to that attitude, you know. Vatala, and I'm almost done, but she has the same business. But because of Chinta's problem with the dogs, she took her loan to invest in cages. So this is where, you know, one borrower kind of learns from the experiences of another. So Vatala has bought cages, and she has a little bit different business model where Chinta would just sell the eggs or the meat whenever anybody wanted to buy it. Vatala saves it up until there's a big festival, like we just had Diwali, maybe we're still in it, so the Indian big festival of lights, people were feasting and stuff like that, like 4th of July. And when there comes a big festival like that, Vatala puts her eggs and meat on the market because the prices are up. So one recent month, a couple months ago, she had a single month sales of $133.40. Huge, huge. And you know, some of that probably went to help Chinta, frankly, because in India we have a model where 10 women band together to like look out for each other and help each other and support each other. So when things go well for Vatala, she's able to help out Chinta, and vice versa, you know. Thank you for supporting me and my family, she says. And Vatala has seen an increase in her income since she took the loan of $1.82 a day. Mopidevi, and I think I only have 2 more. I know I'm out of time, but just a couple more. Is that good? Mopidevi bought goats and sheep, I think they're sheep. I can never, in India, I can't tell the difference between goats and sheep, I don't know, but I think these are sheep. But anyway, she by taking the loan, buying the sheep and so forth, her track record this year is an increase in income of $1.34 a day. But she says, this is a lot of work. The sheep are docile creatures and have to be protected. They need shelter. They can't be left out in the direct sun. They can't be left out in the heavy rain. They have to be taken to pasture and watched every day. And caring for this flock is a lot of work. But it enables me to sustain my family with a little contribution, and I'm grateful for the opportunity. What a great attitude. Vatala. This village is on the Krishna River Delta. Everybody in her family is a fisherman. They go out in the morning, they fish, they sell those fish, and that's how they live that day. And because as a sort of a side thing from all these fishing, there are broken nets everywhere. And so she started with her loan a side business where she buys broken nets, she like repairs them and resells them so that they can be used again. She's a recent widow, and she said, I am a single widow now, and I need to earn an income of my own. My children have grown, they've gotten married, they have separate families, but they still depend on me. This work helps me support my family. And the last one, Barre. She is known to be the best seamstress in the tiny village of Galagudam. She specializes in clothes for women and girls. She's known for making like unique patterns with wild and interesting colors and designs. She is the only breadwinner for her family, and she used to earn an average of $2.65 a day. With her loan, she was able to broaden her portfolio of things she can offer, to buy more fabric, to buy more thread, and so now she earns about $3.65 a day, an increase of about $1 a day. I am the backbone and primary breadwinner of my family right now, she says. So this income is essential for us. It's not just a game. I mean, it's how they eat. You know, it's how they survive. And you did that by your investment. You did. I mean, she did it by getting up and working her fingers to the bone and sewing all day and half the night. But we gave her an opportunity to do even more, to do even better. And she's grateful. And so, in conclusion, my last slide is a group of women in Nicaragua that we met with, and all of them borrowers. This was just a few of them. There were about 20 or 30 women in the room that day. They each went around and told about their business, and everyone said, thank you for believing in me, thank you for investing in me, thank you for this opportunity. And you know, those thanks, some of those thanks belong to you, because your microfinance team and congregation has made this a priority. You have invested, and those dollars have poured in to the lives of the poor and make a difference every day. So thank you.
Thank you, Ron. That was so inspirational. And I'd like to have you join me now, please, in a special meditation written by Lorna Youngs. Call to mind another person on the periphery of your life, someone for whom you have no strong feelings or no feelings at all, a weaver in Laos, a farmer in Peru, a small shopkeeper in Nicaragua, or someone sitting at the next table when you go for coffee. Recognize that at one time this person was someone's precious child, or should have been, for all children deserve to be loved. Recognize that this person has worries and concerns. Recognize this one has sorrows, fears, even pain. Recognize that they carry burdens you cannot see. Recognize that this person will someday face death. Recognize that they will have to say goodbye to everyone and everything they have known and loved. Recognize that the person you now envision is every person deserving of compassion. Allow your natural feelings of compassion for this person to arise. Let feelings of boundless compassion for all beings arise. Know that you always have a choice. You can see others through the eyes of compassion at all moments of your life. Know that when you practice seeing others in this light of awareness and compassion, you will begin to recognize their sacred worth. Know that goodness will flow naturally from this out into a hurting world.
This month's Share the Plate recipient is our congregation's microfinance project. Our UUCS microfinance project is based on the Unitarian Universalist principles that we covenant to affirm and promote justice, equity, and compassion in human relations, and having a world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all. Our congregants here joined together in 2008 to answer Reverend Rick Davis's call to address global poverty and connect our congregation to others around the world. As you've heard, the basic idea, make small loans to people living on the edge so they can increase their earning power, escape poverty, and make a better living for their families. Our program has been very successful in doing that and making a profound difference, and have benefited families in Laos, Peru, Nicaragua, Kenya, and India. Your support is especially critical during the pandemic because livelihoods in these poor countries have been especially hit hard. They've not had access to the vaccines that we've had, and many of them are suffering from political turmoil. Thanks to the generosity of our UUCS congregation and purchases of Laos scarves like this one, we raised a total of $6,065 last year. We hope you will open your hearts and contribute again this year so we can continue on this again and to hear more compelling stories next year. We have worked closely with credible nonprofit organizations like the NEO Fund and Shinaya to ensure that our funds are targeted to those in need and have made a profound difference in the poorest of the poor. Our funds have transformed lives of Peruvian alpaca farmers through the construction of livestock sheds to boost milk and fiber production, thus raising incomes in a sustainable way. And likewise, you've heard from Ron today about how important our funding has been for families in Nicaragua and India. For this church year, we will focus on projects with the NEO Fund in Nicaragua and India. UUCS members also generously contribute each month to the Marion Polk Food Share, and we ask for your contributions to help people in our community too. You can donate directly to Microfinance online on the church's website or by check with a notation for Microfinance. This slide shows you how to contribute to your pledge and to donate to the Microfinance team. Please make sure that you designate that your contribution is for Microfinance on the website or on your check. While we had hoped to have another sale at this time of beautiful products made by Bangladeshi women in partnership with Basha, we have postponed the sale until early April, when we hope we can fully open our church, and we hope to see you at that sale at this time then. Thank you again for your generosity to make this all possible. Members of the UUCS extend support, caring, and kindness to the wider community in many ways. Each week, we light the social justice candle to remind us of this ministry. Today, we've heard stories of the marvelous work done by the Microfinance team, and I think it's only appropriate that we acknowledge that team now. So could all members of the team who are involved please stand up? Thank you so much. Thank you all. It's been amazing to see this since 2008. So now we will be extinguishing the chalices. There is too much hardship in this world to not find joy every day. There's too much injustice in this world to not right the balance every day. There is too much pain in this world to not heal every day. Each of us ministers to a weary world. Let us go forth now and do that which calls us to make this world more loving, more compassionate, and more filled with the grace of divine presence every day.
We are still asking that you, before I say that, thank you, Ron. That was very compelling. But we are still asking that you register if you intend to come in person to Sunday services, which are held at 10:30 on Sunday mornings. You can register by going to uusalem.org. When you attend in person, we ask that you please bring and wear a mask. Proof of vaccination or a medical exemption will be required upon entering the building. We will continue to offer streaming services live and on demand. We will be holding fellowship time in Hanneman Hall immediately following the Sunday service today, and those people back there are so excited and so anxious that they've already started to open the doors. So we hope you go back there and have some conversation with some of the people you haven't met for a while. All are welcome to meet and chat and have a cup of coffee, and I'm going to be back there talking to people, I know that. I do want to remind you that Zoom fellowship has ended. We used to have that, but we've stopped. Next Sunday, Reverend Rick Davis, remember him? He will return to the pulpit, and he will speak on Roger Williams, a great American soul for our times. He says, learn where the idea of religious freedom and liberty of conscience were fostered. Come find out what happened to Williams and how he connects to the UU principles. We have a bit of news of the community. Thanks to Kit Abrahamson here, our diversity concert series continues. Enjoy songs of Mexico on traditional instruments by Son Huitzilin. My apologies if that isn't pronounced correctly. Who take the stage on our Celebrating Diversity series. The concert will be held live or live streamed, depending on what happens, 7 p.m. on Friday, November 12th. You can get tickets at uusalem.org/celebrating diversity. UUCS will be hosting an auction January 19th through 23rd to benefit the operating fund. Find out how you can donate services or items to this auction by going to our website. UUA is seeking leaders for the next General Assembly. If you're interested in applying for either, there are two positions. If you'd like to apply, please submit a cover letter and resume, and you can find all the details about that in the UUCS newsletter, or you can go to uusalem.org/news. And that's our news for today.
Our closing hymn today is We'll Build a Land. It's number 121 in the gray hymnal. We're going to sing verses 1, 2, and 3. Please rise in body or spirit, and please leave your mask in place.
Gosh, these masks are annoying. Thank you for joining us today. And now, those of you at home may wish to pause and take a moment to join us in saying our closing words. May faith in the spirit of life, hope for the community of earth, and love for the sacred in one another be ours now and in all the days to come. Blessed be.